Thanks God, it's Friday. Another good opportunity to talk digital. Today, our journey goes again to Mallorca, this beautiful island in the Mediterranean, and I'm very jealous that I'm only virtually there. We will visit two energetic entrepreneurs you already can see on the screen. Welcome, Bettina. Welcome, Kim. Nice to meet you virtually on this channel.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And thank you for making it possible. Would you like to introduce yourself to our viewers a little bit?
Yes, of course. Yes, of course. This is Bettina, my wife, for more than 25 years, and I am Kim, and together we are, as you can see in the background, in 𝗃𝗍𝗃𝗀𝗃 in Mallorca. We are entrepreneurs, and the latest project we did in Denmark before we moved down to Mallorca was like 15 kilometers out of Copenhagen. You see on the screen the house in winter and autumn. This was the place we ran until we decided we need a new chapter, a positive change of life, and then we moved to where you can see where we are sitting now in Mallorca. Right?
Very nice place, and indeed. The big question for me is why Mallorca? Of course, I can easily understand living in Central Europe that you might not be totally happy with the weather conditions in that part of the world. But why Mallorca? Was there a specific reason?
All our life, we have enjoyed being on islands. We were born on an island in Denmark. We lived on an island in Denmark. The best holidays were on islands. The honeymoon was on an island. Everything was on an island. And after some holidays here on this beautiful island, it was starting to be difficult to go back to Denmark. All the time we wanted to stay because here we have the mountains, we have different nationalities, beaches, and the weather on the island in Denmark from October to April is very different from here.
We have at the moment, we have springtime and we have Barcelona very nearby. So we don't really feel that we are living on an island. It has a sufficient size, and Barcelona and flights, normally you can go to wherever you want in the world.
Well, that's indeed, that increases my jealousness. Okay, yeah, I understand very much. One of the things that went to my mind when I heard that you are originally from Denmark is, do you miss the Nordic food, which is very specific?
Some of it, but we are very good to make food at home if we miss some old traditional cooking. But for sure, there are ingredients. It's natural because it's natural for us to look for some of the ingredients from Denmark because we cannot find them here. And
so
I think good food and very good drinks, good wine, and music is important for our life. So if some of this is something we miss, it's natural to add it. You could
that is the philosophy. If anything is missing, then either bring it down or make it down here. But Mallorca has totally changed, as you probably also know, that this is now an island with 200,000 EU citizens living here permanently or on part-time, mixed together with a lot of Spanish and Mallorquin people. So it's a good mix of everything. So it's not like you miss anything really. But if you do, then either just get it here or make it yourself.
That's a good keyword because, of course, we would like to talk about Mallorca in particular. Yeah. One of the things Mallorca is quite famous for is its startup culture. We had several talks with energetic startup companies founded in Mallorca. Do you consider Mallorca as a kind of Petri ball for entrepreneurs?
As what?
We just had a seldom guests flying over, so we had some airplane noise in the background. What was your question again, sir?
Do you consider the specific environment of Mallorca as a kind of breeder for entrepreneurs?
Yes, you can definitely feel that many of the people coming down has more or less the same philosophy for life as we did. Many people either continue their business here or they start up something new. So many of the people wanted a positive change in life. And this is what more or less connects many of us, that we are still entrepreneurs. And we are so many of these kind of people from all over. So of course, with 1.2 million people in total, half of the local population has what they call sufficient amount of money. And the 200,000 people from other EU countries also bring in, of course, both cash and demand for certain products.
One of the big fueling factors of Mallorca's economy as a whole, of course, is since quite a while the tourism. But we had to sustain a little slowdown in the last year. Do you think the slowdown of tourism will affect your business positively, negatively?
Yes and no. We have never been into mass tourism ourselves. Also in Denmark, we went for a smaller clientele, different kind of people. And I think actually what we saw last summer in Mallorca was new organic farmers. So many good things are happening here now, and you have more space on the beach. I think it can be an advantage for our business especially.
But also for Mallorca itself, that in 2019, approximately 15 million people came, mainly in the summer, crowded the beaches and the roads. So Mallorca is now working on a solution where they can spread it out over a longer period, probably 12 months, and perhaps not go for the numbers alone, as of the quantity, but more the quality. And if Mallorca succeeds in this, it's very easy access from almost any European. And if they succeed in this, Mallorca has a strong 2.0 future, even though that they will not get the high numbers back as they did before 2019. But if they have higher quality that requires more staff, then the island will thrive.
And also now it's almost all over easy with the internet on the island, no matter where you are. So we see more and more people coming here to work remote from different countries.
Oh, yeah.
And the winter, autumn, and spring in Mallorca is very friendly. You meet outside and different nationalities. I think it's a perfect place to do something like that.
That's the impression I also get, yeah. And when I was the last time in Mallorca, I was always wondering that people with rented cars, which are much too big for them, drive through streets which they don't know. So I was really thinking if this fits for the future, yeah. But on the other hand, yeah, of course, we have now a lot of energetic entrepreneurs there. On the other hand, yeah, let's talk about the connection to the rest of the world. One of the big things is, of course, e-commerce. Many retailers around the world, of course, sustained the situation in the last month by entering in the world of e-commerce. What are your experiences with e-commerce?
It's different here. Many companies don't have a website. So for them to make a web shop, it was very difficult. And also they like cash and they don't like tax and they don't like 𝗰𝗲𝗀𝗀 either, or whatever we call it. So how to make a web shop is the question for most of them, to make a web shop where the client pay with cash. So it's different, but some companies did very well on this with different way of payments. But it's interesting to see because they are so much behind from Denmark, where everybody have a web shop, and here it's not the same. We are not 2021 with web shops and e-commerce here.
No, but then again also that many of the farmers, of the local farmers, starting making production and selling their products. So even Mallorca has had a lot of increase in local produced products, being the farmer products that they were able to deliver. So even here, as Bettina also said, even here it's of course also not kind of exploding, and not only Amazon, but also smaller players, of course, and this is very good. And we also focus a lot on the e-commerce with many of the products we are selling.
But it's interesting to see, because it's like a virgin island on this that is growing, and you can see the difference week by week now. It's really nice to see.
I guess that was what I was thinking for, because of course many people coming back from the island were glittering in their eyes, have had glitters in their eyes because of the fruits, really tasty oranges, whatever food stuff, and e-commerce offers us the opportunity to even have the same stuff around the world, basically. So that should be a great chance for any farmer, any producer of any kind of products on the island, is it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, but it was like last year. The problem was to have enough people working on the farms, and then to start making a web shop. Everything was so different last year, and this year it will be different in a new good way. But it's just interesting to see how people now help each other to make a web shop, to make a homepage. Yesterday there was a big discussion about the SEO, because someone was asking for help for web design, and some other people comment, forget about the website if you don't have the right people to help the SEO. So it's all new, and people are open-minded, ready to help, but you also have to find the right people and connect. It's interesting, and it could be a good market to do a business.
And there is also a very good infrastructure for the transportation of the island, and the price is reasonable. So we are quite successful, and many new people and old businesses as well is getting more and more popular online as well. So there is also here a huge market for this. As I said, the transport cost is very reasonable once you are on the island. It's more the transport from mainland that is a little bit more expensive.
Yeah.
Okay, that are very good conditions to start up and yeah, even e-commerce economy. And I think it's very similar to what we call the Silicon Valley effect, because so many knowledge people, so many energetic entrepreneurs, and the perfect logistic come together. Then of course this is an exploding business. Yeah.
Yes.
One thing you already touched is well, one question is how to produce. The next question is how to build up an online shop, whatever e-commerce activities. And the third thing is, how do your customers get known of you? I saw your Instagram presence. That was really nice. What are your tips, or what are your experiences with the social media? Do they replace the classic advertisement, the TV advertisement, and so forth?
I can say, don't do what we did. But that's for sure. But I have some issues with the homepage now with the SEO, so I think it will be up and running everything next week. But because they don't have a homepage, it's difficult for them to stop the classic advertising. And only do it on Facebook is also not so easy, because if you want to sell something to a man, not all men here are good on social media. It's a lot of women who spend time on social media, unless it's a man who wants to buy a car. So it's different, and it's coming, but now for small businesses, it's too expensive to spend a lot of money on AdWords and social media and continue the old classic advertising. And they still have nice newspapers and magazines and the radios.
Okay.
And the radios do a lot of things here. And they have local television programs where they also do a lot of things, actually. So I think it's now a combination, and more will use Instagram and maybe also LinkedIn in the future, but that's more for business network like your group and other groups. It will come step by step.
But also on Mallorca, a reasonable size island, around 1 million people living here. It has a lot of good influencers and bloggers and communities. So actually it's more easy to reach everybody this 1 million people than it is, for instance, to reach 1 million people in Germany.
Yeah, it's a different way.
So there is some advantages about the communities that we have on the island. So once you do well and you have a good reputation, then very fast everybody knows it. And that's the positive thing about being on this island.
So the entrance door is, the entrance door is a recommendation from an influencer, or what do I learn from your explanation?
I think the influencers here is more important than many other places.
I see.
And the yoga teachers did a lot of influencer. These ladies are crazy, really fast moving forward to get clients and to recommend others. And some of them also make beautiful pictures for their Instagram profiles. But it's like, then this group is moving on and then they recommend restaurants, they recommend shops. But for retail business here, it's very difficult now because they were not on Facebook. They didn't have a homepage. So they were waiting for new tourists every week to come and come by the shop. But it has been like that for the retail business, more and more difficult for the last 5-6 years.
I see.
It's what we saw in Denmark 10 years ago is happening here the last 5 years.
Well, that's a digitalization. It speeds up several developments, of course. That's what I see. However, what I also see is a lot of market potential because many people remember their last holiday trip to Mallorca. They are missing Mallorca the whole year through. They are listening to even Mallorca radio stations everywhere in the world. And that must be a good chance also to sell them products from Mallorca.
I think so.
True.
I think so. And I also see more and more producers of porcelain, clothes, linen, a lot of furniture, local producers we now see in a different way because then the shoemaker, we see them now in a different way and we share in a new way. I think we are in a good time now.
Positive way, the optimistic way. I like that. That's an entrepreneur, yeah. If we take, let's say, someone who approaches you, who has the idea of selling something or producing some things and to sell it to the Mallorca fan community around the world, what would be your suggestions? How should this person operate? Who shall this person approach? What are the measures this person should take?
If it's a person who wants to come here and do business from the island or to the island, or
from the island, of course, it's the most beautiful place in the world. So that's.
And I think to find the right account.
Call us,
and connections. It's about having the right connections. The accountant.
There are many things if you come from the outside that you really have to learn. It's not only 2,500 kilometers from Copenhagen. Mentality, business policy, how they operate,
insurance,
who you can trust, what to do, how to do. So there are many things. It's not an easy trick. We spent a lot of time in the beginning not having the best advice and advisors around. So this you really have to navigate in. And as we have done now, we have hooked up with some local ones in order to move stronger forward and not being only Bettina and I, but working together with local ones as well.
But I think time is, what is most important is to have the time to invest. Because it is different, even though we have been here for 14 years before we moved here, and we lived here part-time for 3 years. To be here full-time, we still learn every day. It's only 3 hours away from Germany and Denmark, but it's a different system. And just to say, to make an error for us, because we choose the wrong way to do it. We spent maybe, 8 weeks or something. In Denmark, it takes 8 minutes. 8 minutes to make an SL on the computer. But here you have to go to the lawyer and blah, blah, blah.
The notary.
And the notary and back to the notary and in and out with a smile and have the time to wait. And then after that, you start applying for the license to do what you want to do. And to get a license here can take you 1 year, half a year, or you never know. So time it's very important to bring time and not get stressed in the period where you wait for the answers.
Oh, you gotta be a little patient.
Yeah.
Well, but that sounds,
healthy.
to me, it sounds very good. So you have to, so first of all, the good news for our for our viewers is there are help. You offer them help if they want to do so. And secondly, the environment where patience is golden is waiting for them. Okay, that sounds pretty much relaxing, yeah, and in good weather conditions, but no quick results are to be expected, I guess, yeah.
No, but there are, as I also mentioned, there are very good communities and business clubs that both involve local people and foreigners, where you can also go and ask for help and get the right people to ask the questions that you have. So by having the people living on the island and the experience of the people who have already been on the island for many years is also an important factor if you want to do anything.
And if all of them have more or less the same spirit, oh, I guess that's boosting business ideas. Perfect environment. One aspect which we forgot to talk about, although it was all the time between the lines, is the sustainability. Many people say that anyhow, since decades, sustainability becomes more important. And other people say, particular last year, we had a really big boost in the demand for anything which is sustainable. Do you share this opinion as well, or would you argue against it?
Yes, because speaking of tourism before, to go down in the numbers and get a higher quality of tourists instead is also a sustainability for the island in itself. So that I think is an important factor. Use more solar energy, have more electric cars on the island, make the island more green and more
recycle the bottles.
Recycle the bottle. We have too many plastic bottles because we can't drink the water. So if you find out this, then sustainability, yes, is very important, very important. Organic, biodynamic, all the things that has a logic and makes sense in a natural way, yes, and that goes for Mallorca as well, absolutely.
I see there's some bottles in the background. It's not to be too curious, but can you explain what they are?
Yes, this is one of the products, starting a range of different products that we most import to the island, but there are also, of course, products from the island that we can export back to Europe. But the bottles that you just shown are 6 organic soft drinks, all pure, all natural, great taste. Because what we found down here some while ago was the only alternative for non-alcoholic drinks were Coke, Sprite, Nestle, iced tea. So we brought these products in, and you can mix drinks or drink them non-alcoholic, but just then as a refreshment or heat them up in the winter. It gets winter down here also, not as cold as in the rest of Europe, but it gets a little cooler. And then it's nice to have like a warm elderflower or a warm cranberry or whatever. And then here the summer comes, we now have spring, and then it's just the best refreshment drink you can ever imagine. And this is on the web shop, and it goes also to business to business. So this is just the first product in a line of many that we are introducing.
So it's not only that we talk theoretically about sustainable products which bring Mallorca to Central Europe. There's a detailed offer. Great, thank you very much. Yeah, certainly I will test that. Yeah. We come now to the end of our show, but it's a good old tradition that we offer our guests always a 60-second slot to say whatever they would like to say. Would you both like to use this opportunity?
Yes, of course it is. Of course, it has been very nice talking to you, and I hope people out there all the best wherever they go. And if they come to Mallorca, please come by and say hello. We are always, like most of the foreigners and Spanish people living here, very open people and wanting to help as much as possible. The thing that we also now is introducing is a start of a cafe and a deli based on Scandinavian products and Balearic Island products all coming together. So bringing the best from two worlds into this cafe and deli concept, where the interior and the decoration will also be products from home that we think also you can sell online and in showrooms. So incorporate that into the cafe and the deli. And then we just want to make as many as is relevant for the island. So a concept of quality, a good story for each product, the taste of each product. So everything that is in the cafe you can buy in the deli, and all of them, they have this good story of being either sustainable, biodynamic, organic, great tastes, good history. So we strongly believe that in